Neediness is the tax you pay for trying to control what you don't own. Here's the promise, my friends. If you stop chasing, they start noticing. Simple as that. Quick hook. If they've been distant, this is the moment you flip the story. Not with more texts, not with bigger speeches, with calm power. Hey folks, imagine this. You're holding a bar of soap under a running tap. You squeeze tighter because you're afraid to drop it. What happens? It slips away. That's what chasing does to attraction. The more you grip, the faster it slides. Now imagine you cup your hand, steady, relaxed, patient. The soap stays. Space creates grip. Calm creates pull. Another picture. You're at a camera, lens right up against your face. It can't focus. Step back a little and the image gets sharp. In love and life, stepping back is not a game. It's oxygen. It lets both of you actually see what's true. And yes, I know, some of you are smiling right now because you've done the paragraph text at 1 a.m. We've all been there. I've drafted novels that should never see daylight. It's okay to laugh at it. We learn, we grow. Here's the lie we were sold. If I just prove how much I care, they'll see my worth. No. Love without boundaries looks like self-abandonment. And self-abandonment never sells self-worth. People don't listen to the speech you make about your value. They read the calendar you keep and the standards you live. They trust what you tolerate. When you reply from panic, you teach them your time is free. When you reply calmly, you teach them your attention is earned. Another truth bomb. People feel what you feel. Send anxiety and they feel pressure. Send grounded energy and they feel curiosity. It's like standing near a speaker with bass too high. Everyone wants to step back, lower the noise, and people drift closer. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect. Epictetus said, "You control your mind, not events." I'd add, control your attention and events start to respect you. My friends, choosing space is not punishment. It's clear. You are not ignoring them. You are honoring you. The gym, the walk, the deep work hours, the call with a real friend, these are not distractions. These are the bricks that rebuild your frame. And yes, we keep a little humor in the process. If your thumb hovers over send like it's trying to launch a rocket, put the phone down and go launch a set of push-ups instead. Cheaper fuel, better results. Some of you learned in childhood that love arrives when you earn it, so you audition, you overgive, you explain. Today we had the audition. You are not a backup singer in your own life. You are the headline act. If they want tickets, they can show up on time, pay with effort, and sit in the front with respect. Here's the real warning label on what we're about to do together. When you stop chasing, the past often returns. Old numbers light up. Hey, stranger, thinking of you. Don't let nostalgia drive the car. Let standards hold the wheel. Measure with behavior, not butterflies. So breathe, shoulders down, chin up. You don't need to prove anything today. We're going to keep the language simple and the actions strong. Less drama, more data. Less chasing, more choosing. If this hits, like the video, subscribe for more, and stay with me. Because in the next minutes, I'll show you exactly how to pull your power back without sending a single desperate sentence. Type this in the comments to lock it in. I choose space. Press like, hit subscribe, and stay with me. We're just getting started. Number 1. The more you chase, the faster they run. What you pursue runs, what you embody arrives. That's the truth most people spend years trying not to face. When someone starts slipping away and your instinct is to chase, you're not closing the gap. You're proving it exists. You're telling them with your energy, you have something I don't. And people feel that. They don't need to hear a single word from you. The body language, the timing, the tension in your tone, everything already says it. Imagine you're trying to catch a butterfly. You clap your hands, you run, you lunge, and it flutters higher, faster, out of reach. But stand still, stay calm, and what happens? It might land on your shoulder. That's an attraction. Stillness is magnetic. Anxiety is noise. The harder you grab, the faster peace, and people slip through your fingers. And I know, my friends, it's hard. When they start pulling away, your chest tightens, your mind starts running wild. What if they forget me? What if they meet someone else? What if I just give them space and they never come back? That's not love talking, that's fear. Fear of being unseen, unchosen, left behind. But let's break the lie together. Space doesn't erase connection. It reveals the truth. If they were ever meant to stay, they will find their way back when you stop blocking the door with panic. Here's a little metaphor. Think of your life like a garden. When you keep overwatering a flower, what happens? It drowns. You think you're helping, but the roots start to rot. Step back, give it air, let the sun do its work, and suddenly it grows. That's exactly what happens with people. Your absence lets the right ones breathe and the wrong ones leave. Either way, it's growth. Now, let's get honest. The reason most people can't step back is because they've built their worth around being needed. They believe, if I stop trying, I'll lose love. But in truth, if you have to beg for presence, you already lost respect. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your power lies in your mind, not in the opinions of others." Every time you chase someone who's choosing distance, you trade your power for permission to exist. It's going to be uncomfortable at first. Your body will itch to text. Your thoughts will play movies of what if. But discomfort is the doorway to dignity. Sit with it. Let the silence burn the noise out of you. You're not losing them. You're finding yourself again. The part of you that was tired of proving, tired of waiting, tired of asking to be seen. Ask yourself this: why do you think they're the only ones who can validate you? Why do you fear being alone when alone is where your power upgrades? Most people don't miss you. They miss the version of you that made them feel safe. When you take that safety back to yourself, you become irreplaceable. Because self-respect, my friends, is the rarest energy in the world. So instead of asking, how do I get them back? Ask, what version of me am I returning to? Return to the one who laughed without waiting for a text. The one who slept peacefully because their peace wasn't up for negotiation. The one who didn't chase validation, they created gravity, because that's what real power feels like. Quiet, composed, unbothered. Remember, it's not cold to stop chasing. It's courageous. You're not closing your heart, you're closing the door to desperation. They might not say it out loud, but they feel the difference. They feel your silence, your stillness, your energy, no longer begging to be seen. And that's when curiosity starts whispering in their mind, did I lose something real? And if they do come back, you won't even have to ask why, because your peace, your focus, your glow, that will be your answer. You stopped auditioning, and now life is giving you the role you were meant to play. So take this moment, breathe, step back. Let your presence speak louder than your panic. You don't need to prove your worth. You are the proof. Affirmation: I don't chase, I choose. Write it in the comments below. Show yourself. Show the world that your silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. Stay with me, because next we're going to go even deeper into how distance becomes your greatest power. Number 2, space isn't punishment, it's oxygen. Closeness without invitation is pressure. Pressure kills curiosity. That's the knife-edge truth most people avoid, my friends. When they start to drift and you rush in with explanations, check-ins and emotional essays, you're not proving love. You're broadcasting fear. And fear is loud. It shakes the air like a bad speaker with the bass turned up. Everyone steps back just to breathe again. Space isn't cruelty. Space is oxygen. It lets truth rise to the surface without you stirring the water into foam. Picture a painter working on a canvas. If they press the brush too hard, colors muddy, shapes blur, and the image loses life. But when the painter steps back, even 2 steps, the composition snaps into focus. That step back isn't indifference, it's discipline. The same in relationships. Step back and you see the whole picture, your standards, their consistency, the reality between the words. Step back and they see it too. Suddenly the contrast is sharp. Who you are without the performance, who they are without the chase. I can hear the questions hitting. What if space makes them forget me? What if someone else fills the gap? What if silence gets misread as not caring? Understand this. The version of you that anxiously fills every silence teaches them that your attention is cheap, always on tap, no appointment necessary. The version of you that allows silence teaches them that your attention is earned by clarity, by effort, by reciprocity. Silence doesn't erase connection, it reveals depth. If the bond was real, space makes them feel it more clearly. If the bond was convenient, space exposes the truth quickly. Either way, you win because you stop negotiating with illusions. Let's break a core lie while we're here. The lie says, if I keep proving my value, they'll finally see it. The truth, value proved too loudly, reads as insecurity. If you have to shout, you don't believe it. If you overserve, you teach them your needs are negotiable, and needs that are negotiable are never respected. You don't have to announce boundaries to make them real. It's how you carry your day, your workout that doesn't get cancelled, your sleep that doesn't get sabotaged, your work block that doesn't yield to you up energy. People read your calendar long before they believe your captions. Another image. You're staring at stars. At first, you see nothing, just darkness and that one bright planet. Then you turn off the porch light, let your eyes adjust, and suddenly the sky is crowded with constellations. Turning off the porch light is space. It lets subtle truths appear. Do they move toward you when you stop managing the moment? Do they follow through without being reminded? Do they respect the tempo you set? Space is not a test you give them, it's a gift you give yourself. A gift of accurate data. But it's hard. Of course it is. Your nervous system hates uncertainty. It wants closure like a thirsty man wants water. Yet the Stoic path isn't the path of quick sips. It's the path of deep wells. Deep wells take time to dig. Space is the shovel. It digs past panic into principle. In that space, your body relearns a different rhythm, not checking the phone every 5 minutes, not scripting their replies in your head, not bargaining with your own standards. You learn to sit with your breath until urgency dissolves. You learn to act from choice rather than chase. Ask yourself the honest questions. Why does silence feel like a threat? Why does waiting a few hours feel like rejection? What story are you repeating from years ago, the one where attention was a prize you had to earn by being perfect, helpful, available, always? That story made you useful, not valued. You're not applying for a job called always there. You're building a life that selects calmly, cleanly, correctly. Here's the paradox that will save you. The you who tries to convince is the least convincing version. The you who returns attention to self, training, purpose, rituals that sharpen your edges, becomes rare, and rare gets respected. It's not the distance alone, it's what fills it. If space is just sulking and waiting, it turns to bitterness. If space is growth, it turns to gravity. People feel what you feel. Fill your days with momentum, and they feel the pull, whether they admit it or not. So what does this look like in real life? It's simple, not easy. You stop narrating your intentions and you live them. You don't chase clarity, you embody clarity. You don't send 3 follow-ups, you send none and let consistency answer the question. You don't hover at the edge of their attention, you stand fully in your own. When they do appear, you respond from center, not from spike. You end first when the energy droops. You keep your plans with yourself. And afterward, you sleep, because dignity sleeps well. Remember a line and tattoo it to your mind. Space is respect. For me first. If they mistake your space for disinterest, let that misread stand. The right ones will ask, the right ones will lean in, the right ones will match the quiet with effort, the wrong ones will fall away, and that is a blessing disguised as silence. The universe rarely drags the wrong people out of your life. It hands you the distance and waits to see if you'll use it. My friends, let them feel the edge of your absence, not as punishment, but as a contour of your value. Let them wonder a little. Let the air clear. Let truth breathe through the static. You will be tempted to rush back in with reassurance. Don't. Build proof instead. Proof in your posture, in your schedule, in your glow. That's the kind of proof that doesn't need a paragraph. It announces itself when you walk into a room. Breathe now, shoulders back, chin steady. You're not losing them by stepping back. You're losing panic, and panic was the only thing blocking your power. Let space do its honest work. If they move toward you, meet them with standards. If they don't, bless the data and keep walking. Either path protects your peace. Affirm this out loud and type it in the comments to lock it. I honor space. Show them, show yourself, show the world that your calm isn't distance, it's dignity. Stay close, because next we're going to cut through the fog around value signaling and show you how standards speak louder than any speech. Number 3. Standards over speeches. People don't believe what you say about your value. They believe what your day says. That's the quiet law, my friends. You can write the longest message. You can promise, explain, plead, confess. But none of it carries the weight of a single boundary kept. When they drift and you perform, you're asking words to do a job only standards can handle. Standards are gravity, speeches are weather. Weather comes and goes, gravity holds. Imagine a marketplace. One shopkeeper shouts, "Premium! Best in town! Huge discount! Please come!" The other shopkeeper says nothing, keeps the shelves orderly, the prices clear, the door clean, the hours consistent. Where do people end up over time? The silent store with the spine. Price signals quality. In relationships, your price is your time, your attention, your availability. If you hand them out like flyers on a windy street, you tell the world there's no line to enter your life. If you reserve them for those who show up with respect and consistency, your life becomes a place worth entering. Let's break a lie head on. The lie says, if I show how much I care, they'll finally treat me right. The truth, over-functioning breeds under-respecting. When you over-explain, over-promise, over-respond, you train them to expect effort without earning it. You don't teach people how to love you by loving them harder. You teach them by demonstrating how you love yourself when tested. A late-night ping doesn't yank you out of sleep. A vague, maybe this weekend, doesn't hijack your Friday. A breadcrumb doesn't become a banquet just because you're hungry. Another picture. Think of airport runways. Lights mark the path. Lines mark the edge. Schedules rule the sky. Planes land safely not because pilots beg the storm to calm, but because standards make the approach predictable. Your standards are runway lights. They say, here is how to land in my life safely: clarity, effort, punctuality, respect. When someone flies circles overhead with mixed signals and low fuel, you don't wave glow sticks and hope. You close the runway. You let them refuel somewhere else. If they want to land with you, they follow the lights. But what if I lose them by being strict, you ask? My friends, you don't lose anything by revealing the truth faster. If standards scare them, the connection was convenience, not commitment. If standards attract them, they're ready for substance. You are not punishing anyone by having a backbone. You are protecting your peace, and your peace is the single most attractive signal you own. Calm people have choices. Calm people make others feel safe. Calm people set a tempo that makes the room sharper. A Stoic lens helps here. You control your attention, your actions, your acceptance or rejection of impressions. You do not control their mood swings, their response times, their old patterns. So aim your power where it actually works: your calendar. A life with a spine is a calendar with a spine. You keep your training session even when the phone flashes. You honor your deep work hour even when curiosity itches. You end conversations that slide into disrespect without a scene, just a clean, "I'm going to head out." Quiet firmness beats loud frustration. Ask the hard questions. Why are you narrating your worth instead of pricing it? Why are you describing your boundaries to someone who benefits when you don't have them? Why are you trying to be understanding when what's needed is being understood? It's not harsh to require clarity. It's healthy. It's not cold to prefer plans over promises. It's adult. It's not arrogant to protect your time. It's honest about the finite hours you get and the kind of life you're building inside them. Metaphor time. Your attention is a rare metal. Every notification is a miner with a shovel. If you let anyone dig whenever they feel like it, you'll be left with a crater and an apology. If you license access, set hours, set intent, set respect, you'll have a vault that compounds. People will say, "You've changed." Good. You were a free mind before. Now you're a mint. Here's the paradox that flips dynamics. The fewer explanations you give, the clearer your signals become. When they message at midnight and you answer the next morning during your natural window, you're not playing games, you're honoring rhythm. When they propose sometime this week and you reply, happy to lock something when you're clear, you're not being difficult. You're requiring oxygen. When they show up with energy and consistency, you match. When they don't, you don't chase, you don't punish, you don't perform. You simply let data do the talking. And yes, it's going to feel edgy at first. If your history is people-pleasing, standards will feel like rebellion. If your habit is over-explaining, brevity will feel rude. If your reflex is to rescue, letting someone carry their own end will feel like abandonment. It's none of those. It's respect. Of yourself, of them, of reality. You're giving them the dignity of choice and yourself the dignity of consequence. They can choose to rise or choose to drift. You can choose to open the door or close it. That is adulthood. That is freedom. Remember this line: I mirror energy, not excuses. Not because you're playing tit for tat, but because you refuse to finance someone else's lack of clarity with your over-effort. Your life has metrics now. Sleep improved, training consistent, projects shipped, finances tidied, friendships nourished. That density changes your aura. When they do cross your path, they'll feel it. The quiet weight of someone whose day has a spine. You won't need to be convinced. You'll only need to decide. Breathe, shoulders down, eyes steady. You do not need to outperform your needs to be loved. You do not need to shrink your standards to be chosen. You are not a backup plan. You are a clear plan. And clear plans attract serious travelers. Type this to lock it in and show the world around you. I live my standards. Put it in the comments. Show them. Show yourself. Stay close. Next, we're going to flip your nervous system from panic to power so your body stops broadcasting needs and starts broadcasting calm gravity. Number 4, flip your nervous system from panic to power. You can't make wise moves with a shaking hand. Hard truth, my friends. When they pull away and your chest tightens, you don't just have a feeling problem, you have a nervous system problem. Panic turns your mind into a bad narrator. It writes scenes that don't exist, invents rivals you've never met, and begs you to send the exact message that will drain your dignity. If you act from that surge, you teach your body that panic runs the show. If you calm the surge first, you teach your body that you run the show. Picture a snow globe that's been shaken, flakes everywhere, nothing clear. That's your mind when your heart spikes. Most people try to read the message inside the chaos. Stoic move? Put the globe down. Let the flakes settle. Clarity isn't something you chase. It's what appears when agitation ends. Another image. Imagine trying to thread a needle on a moving train. That's you, typing paragraphs while adrenaline hammers. The train has to slow before the thread finds the eye. So the work is simple, not easy. Slow the train. They're not replying. Your brain screams, fix it now. But urgency is a costume fear wears to look important. Ask yourself the real questions. What story am I telling that spikes my body like this? If they never answered, would that make me less? What action right now would I still be proud of tomorrow morning? Fear answers with speed. Wisdom answers with rhythm. You don't text from spikes. You text from the center. You don't perform to soothe them. You regulate to respect you. Why is this so hard? Because your biology loves loops. The more you feed the loop, check the phone, imagine the worst-case scenario, rehearse a rescue line, the more the loop grows teeth. You become a host. Anxiety becomes the parasite, and every notification is a bite. Flip the loop by interrupting state, not with drama, with mastery. Cold water on your face, a brisk walk until breath deepens. 10 slow inhales with longer exhales. Your body keeps score, so give it better numbers. Think of a thermostat in a room. Panic blasts heat. You sweat, you fling windows open, you run around moving fans, or you walk over and turn the dial. That dial is your breath. Longer exhales tell your system, we're safe. Shoulders drop, jaw unclenches, vision widens, and with wide vision comes a wide choice. You remember you have a life. You remember you had plans before this ping. You remember that your value never lived inside their response time. They might be wondering, but isn't this avoidance? Isn't it fake to wait before I reply? No, it's an order. You aren't dodging the truth, you're timing the truth. Words from panic are expensive. They cost respect. Words from calm are investments. They compound over time. Epictetus would smile here. Control what is yours. Your impulses, your focus, your next minute. Let go of what is not. How fast someone types, what they think while you breathe. Metaphor time. Imagine a concert. Lights flare, drums pound, crowd roars. That's your body when rejection feels close. Now imagine the conductor lifting a hand. Everything tightens into timing. That hand is your ritual. Not flashy, just reliable. You choose a few simple moves that switch your system from threat to choice. You repeat them until your body trusts you more than it trusts the story. And yes, your mind will bargain. Just send one more message. Just check one more time. Smile at it like you would a toddler pointing at candy. Not today. Let's break the lie. If I don't fix this now, I'll lose them. Truth. If you try to fix from panic, you'll lose yourself and the version of you they're actually drawn to. Calm is gravity. Calm is rare. Calm is the quiet signal that says, I have a life, a spine, and a schedule. You're welcome here, but not worshipped here. People feel what you feel. If you broadcast a storm, they seek shelter elsewhere. If you broadcast weathered oak, rooted, steady, they lean in or they leave. Both outcomes protect your peace. You may ask, why do I think like this? Because somewhere, long ago, speed felt like safety. You learned to sprint for scraps of reassurance. You learned that waiting meant pain. You learned that silence meant danger. Today we teach your body a new language. Waiting means dignity. Silence means space. Breath means choice. You are not the child scanning the room for signs anymore. You are the adult setting the room's tone. Take this further. After you calm your body, return to your life with deliberate weight. Lift something, read something, ship something. Call someone who makes you better. Eat real food. Drink real water. Stack small wins until your system is too busy succeeding to spiral. Momentum is medicine. It changes your posture, your face, your voice. When they do pop up, your reply carries the weight of someone who has somewhere to be, because you do. And if they don't pop up, the work you did still pays you. Sleep comes easier. Focus comes back. The mirror stops looking like an argument. You don't pace rooms you paid rent for. You don't bargain with your standards like they're optional. You stop making your nervous system chase people who aren't chasing you. There's quiet power in that. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not distant, you're centered. So breathe with me now. In through the nose, slow. Hold for a beat. Out through the mouth, longer than the inhale. Again. Shoulders drop. The world didn't end. Your worth didn't move. The phone can wait its turn. The person who respects you will meet you at this altitude. Lock this in and type it in the comments to show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you. Calm is my power. Stay with me. Next, we set the frame. How you quietly define reality so you never inherit someone else's chaos. Number 5. You set the frame or you inherit theirs. If you don't name the terms, you live by someone else's. That's the spine of this whole chapter, my friends. Every connection runs on a frame, an invisible set of assumptions about pace, priority, and respect. Either you set it quietly with your behavior, or you inherit theirs by default. And their default, more often than not, is convenience. When you chase clarity with speeches, you're asking words to do a job that only your frame can do. Frames don't shout. Frames simply hold, and the room adjusts. Picture a house with no door frames, openings everywhere, no edges, just curtains waving in the wind. Anyone can drift in at any hour and call it a visit. That's a life without a frame. Late pings turn into long calls. Maybe turns into we'll see, and your day dissolves into other people's impulses. Now picture a clean doorway with a solid threshold. Easy to enter, clear to exit, impossible to mistake. A frame doesn't trap anyone. It defines where respect begins. Here's where the mind rebels. But if I set the tone, won't I seem controlling? What if they think I'm too serious? What if they leave? Hear the fear inside those questions, the fawn response that learned long ago to keep the peace by bending first. You didn't imagine that pattern. It kept you safe once. But you're not in that old room anymore. You don't need to trade your edges for entry. Healthy people love edges. Edges tell them where to meet you without guessing. let's break the lie while we're here. The lie says, if I'm easygoing enough, they'll choose me. Truth, being easy about your needs rarely secures love. It secures convenience. People don't commit to fog, they commit to form. When your time has structure, your words become simple. When your attention has standards, your presence feels rare and rarely gets respected. Think of a chess match, not just the board, the clock. The clock is the frame. It prevents panic from masquerading as strategy. In dating and relationships, your clock is your tempo. You reply in your natural window, not your anxiety window. You offer a concrete plan once, and if they orbit with smoke and mirrors, you don't chase the vapor. You return to your life and let gravity sort it out. That is not a game, that's governance. A king doesn't chase pieces around the board. The king guards the center and makes the board move around him. Another image, a sound engineer at a concert. If every dial is maxed, the music is mud. Nothing lands. The engineer pulls down the noise and lifts the signal. Your frame is that mixing board. You turn down drama, you turn up clarity. You don't attend arguments that require you to abandon yourself to win. You don't reward disappearing acts with encore invitations. You keep the mix clean so the song of your life actually plays. Why is holding a frame so difficult? Because it forces you to tolerate someone else's disappointment without rushing to fix it. The moment you stop cushioning reality for others, you hear the scraping sounds. You've changed. You're distant. You're so busy now. Translation, you're no longer subsidizing my comfort. Let them feel the price of entry, consistency, clarity, effort, and watch who actually values admission. Here's the quiet elegance of a firm frame. You don't need to brandish it or announce it. Your schedule reveals it. Your tone communicates it. Your endings, clean, calm, unpunished, prove it. When a message arrives at midnight, the frame answers in the morning. When "sometime this week" floats across your screen, the frame translates it to "lock a time and I'll confirm." When someone returns after vanishing, the frame does not sprint. It strolls, observes and measures with time instead of adrenaline. The frame is not cruel, it is consistent. Consistency is kindness for adults. You might worry, what if I lose them? Turn the worry over and read the other side. What if keeping them requires losing me? A frame saves you from that trade. If they leave because the door has a hinge and a lock, they were there for weather, not shelter. Bless that data. If they stay and step fully inside, they do so because your edges give them something solid to hold. Bring in the Stoic lens for power. You control your judgments, your choices, your commitments. The frame lives there. You don't control their history, their urges, their timing, so you stop arguing with those. Instead, you attend to what is yours: your morning, your training, your work, your rest, your word. A day with a skeleton gives your spirit somewhere to stand. People feel that density. They may test it. Good. Frames are built to be touched. The ones who belong will learn the weight and match it. Think of rivers and banks. Without banks, rivers destroy. With banks, rivers power cities. Passion without a frame floods your life. Passion with a frame irrigates it. The difference is not feeling, the difference is form. You are allowed to want deeply. You are allowed to love fiercely. You are not required to dissolve. So hold the doorframe as you live today. Greet with warmth, not with worship. Invite with clarity, not with pleading. End with poise, not with punishment. If they mirror your strength, wonderful. If they don't, wonderful. Both outcomes keep you honest. Both outcomes keep you free. Breathe now and let the words settle like stone. You set the frame, not to trap, but to define. Not to punish, but to protect. Not to win, but to remain yourself in the presence of desire. When the frame is honest, love either fits or it doesn't, and you stop wasting years trying to sand your edges down to match someone else's comfort. Lock it in, my friends. Type this in the comments to show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you. I hold the frame. Stay with me. Next, we'll make your silence heavy with substance, so they don't just hear less from you, they feel more of you without a single extra word. Number 6. Silence with substance. Be felt without performing. Silence isn't absence, it's evidence. Hard line to start with, my friends. When they drift and you stop performing, no more paragraph texts, no more emergency emojis, your quiet isn't a void, it's a verdict. It says, I am not a street performer hoping for coins of attention. I am a lighthouse. I stand, I shine, I guide, or I let you pass by. People feel what you feel. If your silence is sulking, they feel the pout and keep walking. If your silence is substance, routine, results, calm, they feel the gravity and look back. Picture this, a stage with no band and an empty mic. The room buzzes, but the best musicians don't rush out to prove themselves. They tune backstage. They check their strings, their timing, their in-ears. When they step out, the first note lands like a truth. That's your life right now. If you rush on stage to fill every gap, you play off-key. If you tune the instrument, your sleep, your training, your finances, your friendships, one simple hello later hits harder than any speech you could have thrown at midnight. Your quiet turns from question marks into exclamation points. I can hear the worries. Won't they think I don't care? Won't they forget me? Won't someone else take my place? Listen closely. Care is not measured in how loudly you panic. Real care has a backbone. It doesn't abandon its own oxygen mask to chase someone else's seatbelt. And no, the right people won't forget you. They'll feel the difference between your old, anxious reach and your new, anchored presence. As for someone else taking your place, if a stranger can replace you that fast, what you lost was a role, not a relationship. Let roles rotate. Keep your reality. Let's break a lie with a clean cut. The lie says, if I go quiet, they'll move on. The truth, if you go quiet and nothing changes, you have nothing but your noise holding it together. Better to learn that now than to mortgage years on a fantasy. Your silence doesn't push love away. Your silence pushes illusions away. And when the illusions leave, reality has room to breathe. Either they step into that reality with clarity, or they step out and your life gets lighter. Metaphor time, folks. Think of a campfire. If you blast it with wind, it scatters ash and chokes the flame. If you shield it just enough and feed it good wood, it grows steady, high, warm. Your attention is that fire. Silence is not no wood. Silence is the choice to stop throwing damp leaves, jealous scrolling, anxious double texting, late-night catastrophizing onto your flame. Good wood is your routine, sweat that cleans your head, pages that sharpen your mind, meals that respect your body, work that builds your future. When your fire burns clean, you glow. People wander toward glow. They always have. Why is silence with substance so hard? Because performing gives fast hits. Perform and you get tiny crumbs, a heart, a lol, a late reply. It pacifies the panic for 10 minutes and steals your power for 10 days. Substance pays slower, then forever. At first, nobody claps when you keep your workout instead of waiting by the phone. Nobody cheers when you read instead of refresh. But after a week, your voice drops an octave. After a month, your eyes stop scanning rooms you aren't in. After a season, the mirror tells the truth. Posture steady, mind clear, standards intact. That's when messages start sounding different. That's when hey turns into when are you free? And if they don't change, you changed, and that was the point all along. You might ask, what do I do in the silence? Live in a way that makes noise unnecessary, become dense. When they do reach out, your answers are shorter because your life is fuller. You end first because your evening is spoken for. You don't prove, you present. You don't flood, you flow. And if they try to pull you back into the old program, slow replies, hot and cold attention, breadcrumb hope, you don't scold or beg. You simply don't participate. A river doesn't argue with a rock. It moves around it and keeps going. Another image to tattoo on your mind. A bookstore at midnight. Lights off, doors locked. The good books aren't begging in the window. They know what they are. They'll be opened by the right hands at the right time. Be that. Be the book that doesn't chase readers. Be the story that reads itself into the right life. Now the rise. Folks, you are not here to audition for affection. You are here to become someone whose presence upgrades rooms. Your silence becomes a drumbeat others can sink to or sit out. Either way, you keep time. Your routine is the metronome. Your progress is the melody. Your standards are the key signature. And the chorus, it's simple. You don't chase, you choose. If they come back, and often they do, measure with behavior over time, not butterflies in the moment. Let your calm ask the questions without your mouth moving. Are they consistent now? Do they respect the pace? Do they match the effort? If yes, walk slowly and listen. If no, walk slowly and leave. You're not punishing, you're protecting, you're not withholding, you're holding yourself. So breathe, shoulders down, eyes bright. Make your silence heavy with meaning, not hollow with games. Lift the weight, read the page. Cook the meal, call the friend. Stack small wins until your day has a spine and your heart has room. When you step back into conversation, you'll bring a different weather system with you. Calm air, clear sky, steady sun. That's what people remember. That's what people respect. That's what you deserve. Type this to lock it in. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you. My silence has weight. And if this spoke to you, if you felt the shift, press the like button, subscribe for more in this series, and share this with one friend who needs to stop performing and start becoming. Stay with me. The work continues for you, starting now.